See, Red Nation, what is good? Well, the Chicago Bulls regret signing Ayo Dosunmu over Javon Freeman Liberty to the active roster. Let's talk about it starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So the Chicago Bulls let Javon Freeman Liberty walk, and a lot of people are upset about it right off of the heels of re-signing Ayo Dosunmu to a 3-year, $21 million deal. And the question on the table is, should Bulls fans be upset about this? Is this an issue? Is this going to be an issue in the future? And I think here's the question that I have for most of the Bulls fans who are upset about this. Would Javon Freeman Liberty have gotten the opportunity on this team? That is the deeper question. At the end of the day, you're talking about a guy who I do believe would have beat out Carlik Jones on the roster. Like, I'm as high as we are on Carlik Jones. Okay, he's G League MVP, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to be a guy who's going to be getting a ton of minutes on this team either. And I think the part for me is, and I think where most Bulls fans are upset is, guess what? I came out here, I played for the Bulls. I'm from Illinois area. I bust my butt for this team. I prove myself as the leading scorer. I'm the only source of offense on this team in the slightest, and I didn't get an opportunity. I think that us being from a blue collar city a lot of times overtakes our mindset of what's realistic in the sports world versus what type of city we live in. In the city we're in, if I work hard for you, I should be rewarded. I should be compensated. Javon Freeman Liberty should be a Chicago Bull. But realistically, when you're sitting here looking at kind of how this team is going to work itself out, the guard position is just too, my God, the only word's oversaturated on this team. Even if we don't re-sign Ayo Dosunmu, you're still sitting there with Carlik Jones. You're still sitting there with probably Dalen Terry being more of a guard at this point. You've still got Kobe White. You've still got Zach LaVine. DeMar DeRozan is a forward, and he's a guard. I mean, like, you're talking about a guard position that is so oversaturated. Jevon Carter, I didn't even bring him into the equation. He's another guy who's on there. And so I instantly ask, is he going to get that same opportunity here? And by opportunity, I mean, when we look at what Summer League is, the way that I look at Summer League is not what did this guy put up shots wise? How did he go out and score? How efficient was he? Because he's not going to get those shots in an NBA game. He's just not. That's not a realistic thought that Javon Freeman Liberty is going to come to the Bulls and still be able to get 20 plus shots. It's not realistic. He's going to get 8 shots. What can he do on those 8 shots? And I think that that's the part where you start to see guys play a little bit different, start to see guys look a little bit different, because now you have to pick your spots perfectly. Again, even if he's getting 8 shots, that means that he's your bench point guard. I don't think that he was coming here to be your bench point guard. I think even if Jevon Carter is the starter, you'll probably see Kobe White be the backup point guard more times than not because of a guy like Julian Phillips, who it seems like the Bulls are going to put out there at the 3, and then you're going to have DeMar slide up. Like, there's going to be a ton of different combinations here. I just don't see where Javon Carter was going to get the tick. The only thing that irritates me about Javon Carter leaving, and I've said this on Locked On Bulls a couple of times, and I will continue to say it, is that that garbage fan base gets to root for a guy from Illinois. That's the only thing that irritates me about it. At the end of the day, he is going to be probably a better player up there than he ever would have been for the Chicago Bulls, because I think he would have gotten more opportunity. If we want to complain about the opportunity that a guy was going to get, that's maybe a little bit of a different conversation to bring into this, right? Like, if we want to be upset about, you know, the fact that Dalen Terry is the only 18th overall pick to play that few minutes, or that Patrick Williams is the only 4th overall pick to take that few shots in his first season. Like, there's a ton of other things that we could complain about that maybe do go back into the Javon Freeman Liberty conversation. But I'm not upset by the fact that the Bulls signed Ayo Dosunmu over Freeman Liberty. I'm not upset because I think that here's the thing. Your argument for Freeman Liberty is your argument for Ayo Dosunmu. It has to be. You can't sit here and say we always let these guys go. We hate that we move on from these guys and they go develop other places. And you look at what Ayo Dosunmu did his rookie year. You look at what he did in his second year, which absolutely was a complete regression, 100%. I agree with you. But then you look at his third year and you're going into that basically just saying, oh, this guy sucks. No, that's not the argument that we're making here. The argument you're making is you want to see your young guys develop. Ayo Dosunmu is one of our young guys. And if you don't like what he does offensively, you know, the hope for me with Ayo this season is that he takes another step defensively. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. What are your expectations for Ayo? Do you feel like we should have signed Freeman Liberty over Ayo? I'll be down in the comments talking with you guys as well. Defensively, to me, I think that Ayo Dosunmu can get back because I think that he got in his own head trying to get going on the offensive end, starting point guard role, all of that stuff, not a role that he was ready for, clearly, right? That second year just didn't go the way that we thought it was going to go. We thought he was ready based on how he played in his rookie year. Second year, it didn't go that way. Now I think Ayo Dosunmu gets back to the basics and can become that stud defender that he was his rookie year. And on top of that, right, like the thing about Ayo is if he brings the defense and he accentuates it with 13, 14 points, that's fine. But if you're not bringing the defense and you're only giving me the 8 or 9 points that we saw night in and night out, now I've got some issue with it because you're getting cooked on the other side for 25, but on this side, you're only giving me 8 or 9. That's where I kind of see this Bulls team trying to develop Ayo and get Ayo back to the basics again. And so that's why I'm not that upset about moving on from a guy like Freeman Liberty, because the debate is the same. Yes, you saw Javon Freeman Liberty go out and score against summer league players. How many times are we going to be fooled by this? We saw this with Tony Snell. We saw this with Denzel Valentine. We saw this with Antonio Blakeney. We saw this. Like, how many times are we going to look at summer league and pretend like this is the same level of basketball as the NBA? It is not. And guys aren't going to get the same opportunities. That's why I look at, like, seeing Dalen Terry in summer league to me was very different because he excelled at the role that I think that he's going to actually have to play on the Chicago Bulls, on a team that has Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, all of those guys. I think that he did well playing the passing lanes, starting the break. Defensively, I thought that he played really well in summer league. Yes, he didn't get the offense going. You want to know how many shots Dalen Terry's going to get in the regular season? He might get 7. Might. And that's playing like 15 to 18 minutes a game. He might get 7. So I'm not sitting here looking for Dalen Terry to be a scorer. I'm not sitting here looking at Javon Freeman Liberty like he's going to get on an NBA court and be a dominant scorer, play in and play out, because you're not going to get the volume of shots that you need for you to feel the most comfortable. You're going to get 5 to 7 shots, and you'd better knock them down you better knock down at least 3 of them when the shots come your way. If you're taking 7, 4 when the shots are coming your way, or you're going to start to get less shots. And so I think that when you sit here and try to equate it out, at a minimum, we know this: Ayo Dosunmu can play NBA level defense. Javon Freeman Liberty was a horrible defender at the G League level. I believe he had a 119 defensive rating. He was a horrible defender at the G League level. I mean, like, that's really bad. Like, here's the thing: there's a lot of people that think Zach LaVine is a bad defender, and listen, for most of his career, he has been. I think that he's improved over the last couple of seasons, but even he is a 114 at the NBA level. Right, he was 114 last season. I think for his career he's like 112 or something like that. At the NBA level, think about that. At the G League level, Javon Freeman Liberty was almost a 119. Like, that's insane. It's not good. So for me, I'm looking at, yes, he can be a scorer. Yes, he can be an offensive juggernaut. But I'm also looking at, can you do these things at the NBA level? I don't know if Freeman Liberty could. I think he probably could score at the NBA level if you gave him enough shots. And so if you're looking for the offense to be there, I think that maybe you're more focused in on that. But I don't know if the Bulls are really looking for a ton more offense. I think they're looking for some really key pieces, and the pieces that they went out and got, I feel like they want to lean more on them. We know AK is going to get Underlot Bidham sometime. And so I really feel like he's going to be that Javon Freeman Liberty guy who's on the 2-way deal, but probably plays a ton, gets some minutes. You're trying to put him out there as a shooter. You want to see, for everybody who's upset that we took away shots from other guys, right? Like, Patrick Williams should be this offensive guy. And here's the thing: at the end of the day, this is what I need people to understand. I said this on Locked On Bulls last night. If you're going to be something, if you're gonna be good, Patrick Williams has to be the reason why. I'm talking about championship good. I know y'all hate that. And listen, I'm right there with you. Should have took Tyrese Halliburton. I told you, should have took Tyrese Halliburton. There's no question about it at this point. Should have took He's been good for 3 years. Maybe in the long run it works out. He's been good for 3 years. Since he stepped on an NBA court, he's been good. Should have took Tyrese Halliburton. But if you have championship aspirations, you have to have one of your young guys develop into a star, because I don't think that Zach LaVine is going to be a superstar. I don't think DeMar DeRozan at 34 years old is going to become a superstar. I don't think that Nikola Vucevic at 33 years old is going to become a superstar. I might have them flipped either way, right? Like, I just don't. And so if one of them proves me wrong, prove me wrong. I love it. Shout out to you. But superstar level, I'm talking about top 10 in the NBA level player, top 5 realistically. But, you know, your top 5 are usually the ones that are taking you to championships and stuff like that. But if you can get the top 10 with all the pieces you have here, right? Like maybe you don't have Jokic top 5, which would be insane to me, in the league right now. But you look at the surrounding cast and say, I understand why this guy is able to go out there and be successful. I can kind of I can deal with, okay, you got him at 6 or 7 right now, even though he was the MVP multiple years in a row. But I have heard this, right, where people do they list and Jokic is a little further down. It's weird. But even if you have him there, you look at the supporting cast and say he's a top 10 player in the NBA for sure. And you can go out there and put star level players around him, a Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. with how he shoots the basketball, right? Aaron Gordon with how he goes out there and defends and has added that mid range and all of that, right? I can put that together and we can go win a championship. But you need that guy. And so for you to get that guy, one of these young guys has to take the next step. Patrick Williams, Kobe White. You got to start throwing the younger guys in there too. Julian Phillips, maybe. I doubt Adama Sanago. He seems like a nice role player that's going to come up and get some good time, but we'll see. You know, like, but those are the guys that I'm looking at to say, hey, who's going to take this next step? Ayo Dosunmu even in there. Who's going to take this next step? Who's going to get to the next level? Who's going to prove AK right with taking a gamble on one of you guys? I guess Unerlot bit him as well now that he's on the team officially. There's a ton of questions there, but at the end of the day, if you're going to win something serious, one of these young guys has to be that guy. And that's why it goes to development. That's why it goes to holding on to the guys that you have and developing them further. You've got 2 years of development into Ayo Dosunmu. You might as well see where this road leads. You let go of Larry Markkinen. I'm not upset about Wendell. I've never been upset about Wendell. Wendell still isn't good. I don't care what anybody says. Like, he must be like, oh, he's giving you 14 and whatever he's giving you down in Orlando. Is it 16 and 8 or something like that? And he's like, yeah, he's doing it in 50 games because he can't stay healthy. That was the main thing about Wendell when he was here. He couldn't stay healthy. Larry couldn't stay healthy. Kobe couldn't stay healthy. Now Kobe's found a little bit of health last season. Like, let's hope that sticks around. But hey, I do want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. Do you feel like the Chicago Bulls missed by letting go of Javon Freeman Liberty? I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bulls content. Click the links on the screen. Check the links in the description below. And if you are only here for the Bulls content, make sure that you are subscribed over to the Chicago Bulls Breeze. That'll be tagged over here. Tune in with us over there as well, because we'll be posting all of our Chicago Bulls videos and clips from the Daily Show, which is back today, over there as well. So tune in with us on that. As always, like I said, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.